We are starting to stream. Oh, nothing's up here. Why is it not open?
I have some highlighters if you want. Yes. Oh, I have like 2 highlighters.
Sorry, did you close it in? I felt a super cold breeze coming through. That's why I just shut that door. There's a door open somewhere, in it, like one of the classrooms or something, because I can feel the breeze. Yeah, no, somebody's got a door. No, I closed it to keep it warm because there's something coming in. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay, okay. And if you don't like them, you can always go back in the stream and call them. I thought maybe I'd done too much, but okay. So that's why I do when I have recess. Throw some away or I don't think she's had time yet. She's on her course right now. She's had a lot. It seems to be more political science than it does seem to be library information studies. So there's been a lot. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah. No. In fact, Lucas, you didn't write the quiz last day, right? Excellent. You want to set up back there? And who else was not here last day?
I don't know.
Yeah, so you need worksheet number 3, or do you want to set up the desk up there? Number 3. Oh, well, it's posted on my school. If you don't have it, you don't have it. But you can set up up there. I'll bring your quiz and data book just set up. I don't know. I just have to find a copy of the quiz. Okay, you are working on that. Those of you with laptops out, you should put them away. You are finishing off those squares. I'm going to ask probably most of you to come up and fill at least 1 square each, because it looks like we have enough to do that. Is there anybody just coming in who has not yet written the quiz? I haven't. Lucas, if you have even a blank copy of the worksheet, like if you hadn't done it, it would at least provide some vocab and stuff that would be useful. And anybody else? Hillary Stone. Have you written the quiz? Which one? The one last day. Was it Saturday? Yeah, whenever we last had class. So the one based on this worksheet. Okay, if you can grab that worksheet, and if you can set up on that desk out there, I'll bring you a copy of the quiz. I'll set you up over here.
RV. I did that one. This is a dihybrid sauce. RV or is it BB? VR? This is actually a dihybrid sauce. Deoxyribose. Deoxyribonucleic acid.
Gentlemen, why are you walking in late with drinks and your work's not out?
Bring my workout.
Drinks, please.
Here you go.
You can't go buy drinks to be late for class.
We got lost in the snow.
Yeah, no,
Too much snow.
Our
dude.
vision was.
It's not a snow day.
you're gonna be filling in all those boxes, finishing out this table
I
from last
finished
day.
it.
I'm gonna call people up in just a second.
Do you think we'll get a snow day tomorrow?
Do you remember when?
Right now, focusing on that.
Done. Done, coach. Sorry, coach. Done. Please, coach.
For each one, fill in what you think the P will look like. That'll give you the phenotype. And then the genotype is all the letters. I'm going to ask you for the genotypic ratio and the phenotypic ratio. So you will need to know both.
Better than expected.
Yeah, that's one phenotype. It's the whole thing. Yeah, whole thing. You're welcome. Look at again, you need to head out and write quiz, please. Yeah, no, that would be cheating. The time for that is the night before, not the night class. But now like you're supposed to be working on this.
I forgot to take my antibiotics.
Ooh, I like that.
think it's coming back.
That's all right. You can't talk about stealing when it involves AI. All AI is stealing.
Everyone's sleeping all the time. We didn't make up the words.
Oh, I love the fact that OpenAI was complaining about that new one, DeepSeek.
Oh, I heard
And they're
about
like,
that.
they stole it from us because they used it to train it, and everybody's like, you can't, you have. They're basically saying you have stolen what we rightfully took from someone else.
Dude, is ChatGPT bad at math? That's what I'm hearing.
Of course it is. ChatGPT is a series of if-then statements that base it on probability.
I'm better at math.
So if you ask it 2,897 times 22, it will give you some amount of numbers that ends in 4. It knows it ends in 4 because it has read the internet, and it knows that when there's a 2 there, there's often and a 7 there, and often, because you know, what's 2 times 7?
14.
14. But it doesn't have a built-in calculator. It doesn't know how to do math. So it just gives you a probability. So it just gives you a bunch of numbers as things that might be true. The last number might be true. The first number might be true. But all the middle ones probably made up.
Can you guys?
It hallucinates.
Have you tried it?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
it's terrible at math. Now you can get ones that are better at math because they actually put math things in it, but various things. Yes.
Recently Google AI has ran for it.
Fibonacci sequence. It's actually so tough. I don't know how they do it.
Well, first you need like $10,000 in or something.
You don't have an eraser. I don't see the going.
The Fibonacci sequence. Somebody's friend.
That's crazy. It goes like a line down like this. He holds it like this.
Okay, gentlemen, you were still talking, not ready, so I'm going to ask each one of you. I will start you off there. 2 people at a time, fill in a block.
Do you not remember yesterday? I did that one in the corner.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
One of these
12.
were
Yeah, but you're
mine.
still talking, so you can keep going.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not
I know we're
angry.
star students, though.
We got 12.
I know we're star students,
I
man.
don't even need my paper for it.
Yo, I've got nothing.
3 people.
Neither do I. Wait.
Bang.
Only 2 people
Thank
can
you.
write at the same
Bang.
time.
One at a time. Go, unload, unload.
Yeah, yeah.
I just
Only one person can write.
chill,
2 people
little
can write
bro.
at the same
I
time.
don't think so, new. Look at this. Oh,
Yeah.
it works now.
Go on, both
It's
right.
always worked.
Both right. Both.
Oh, I need to draw it. Or
Excellent, well done. Put it down. You have to draw the P as well.
wrinkled.
Is it green? Is it black? Is it wrinkled? Is it
Um,
smooth?
You like that?
Oh, is that?
Uh-oh.
Are you leaking these assessments to us?
No, someone pressed the button there.
Wow.
Wow, they've been leaked.
There you go. Hold it. Just make sure that you. Yeah. Okay.
You know Zach's burst into his box?
How?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Everyone thinks crash.
I heard he's day trading.
He's up like 20 or like 15%.
Green pea. Yeah, the stock market's not doing
Green
good.
pea with black?
Green smooth
I
pea.
don't think so,
Oh,
but
I need it.
give me that.
Now next Julie takes over.
Yep.
Pick it up. Well
I
done.
don't even need my paper for it. Yeah.
That looks pretty smooth to me.
You look very bored, so I'll have you two go there. That way it'll be something to do. Less bored,
Uh-oh.
more exciting.
Oh, Blanche last one. So voters. Oh my gosh, man. So not a lot of hype for my sincerely despair.
Neither of you want to go?
No.
I need it.
Oh, okay. Oh, what are you doing?
I need it.
Don't draw straight lines.
What? No, I want to do like a
No, stop
like
that.
the size, the
What?
thickness.
No. What? Why are you doing that? No, that's good.
Okay.
And you can write two people at a time. Where's the other pen? Oh, sorry. There we go. You should have that filled in. You're working out the when you're done, if you're done the table, you've worked out the genotypic and phenotypic ratios in numbers and percent. I'm also going to ask you what the percent is for 1 square. So, work those out.
For 1 square.
For 1 square.
1 out of 16. That's wrong.
Julie, when I ask people to work things out, when you say it out loud, you're not helping people, you're just telling them the answer.
Yeah, I told Julian the answer to that.
Yes, but what is my feedback right now?
Oh.
You should have just. Have you done the phenotypic and genotypic ratios? Excellent. But I don't see the phenotypic ratios, and I don't know what that 444 refers to. Are those genotypic or phenotypic? Write down what they are.
RR, BB. No,
Yeah.
this first R is a capital.
Pardon?
Doesn't matter. Put in either slot.
Wrinkled black. Yes,
Put them in different slots.
because the B is don't.
That means you're wrong. What do you?
Where's my wrinkled pea look like that? It's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, yes, do that. Are you literally in that house?
How can I get you pictures?
Oh.
And the sun's at first. When it's not like
Oh, are we up to that section? No. Because we're going to get there.
No, just asking is that like.
I'm not going to do it until we get there, and then I'll do it for everybody. But if I do it for everybody right now, they won't understand what I'm talking about. Yep. Oh, you're volunteering. Excellent. Yourself and Pablo can get up there and do it too. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Volunteering. Julie? You're working the genotypic and phenotypic ratios? Yeah. Show me.
It won't fit that.
No, the ratios, like what percent of each type.
Yo, Joanne.
It won't fit it, bro.
Wait,
Big R, smaller.
no, I actually have these on
Do you not know how to do it?
it's like
Yeah, do you not know how to do it, Pablo?
I do know.
Wow. He's been baited by the regular chair. Go.
Oh, I have you two go up next.
You'll wait.
Where's the eraser?
The phenotypic ratio.
And then
Wait.
Wrong thing. You press alphabet. Press the one that looks like a down.
yeah, the one
There
with all
you
the
go.
paddings on it. There
Keep
you go.
going.
And then I'll say, given I think after this we'll have 3 more.
Come on.
Let me get this
Keep
through.
going. Keep going.
Big B or small B?
No, because they're not. None of them are all that hard.
Yes, there we go.
I don't know. It's
Oh, yeah, you just click off.
Copy one up there.
no. I already
There we
There we
go.
go.
There we go. Done.
Good job, Pablo.
No, stop. Stop. No. I've already called other people up. No. Too many. 1, 2, 3. Go.
Is that an eraser?
Oh, right. Yeah, pen.
Thank you.
Wait, Mr. Nico, I'm not like what are you supposed to do?
So the phenotype is what it looks like. So how many are smooth black, smooth green? How many are wrinkled black? How many are dark green?
Two at a
Then
time.
genotype is how many are like capital B, lowercase b, capital R, lowercase r. How many are lowercase b, lowercase
I'm gonna say the color of the peas as well.
uppercase R?
This is wrap. This is what?
Each
This is
one of
smooth.
those
Wait, what is R?
groupings,
Capital
how
R.
many are each type?
I don't know.
Okay.
Hold it. Anders, I
Wrap.
have not yet used
So it's round.
made progress on
Right?
the
Oh, what do we have to draw what it is?
help him.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Oh, you're gonna help
I was about to go help Papa.
take Anders with you. Help
on,
him
let's
go.
do
Wait, so this is round.
That is round. Lowercase r
How do we
is
get the
round.
pen?
No, this one.
Yeah, that was just round. They just, we don't show the other. This one doesn't
I
have
don't see the pen
anything.
right now, so.
B is
Are we
black.
drawing now?
Lowercase b is green.
So this is just
Can we,
round.
like-
Yeah, well, I'm not saying there isn't a color, I'm just saying it's not being shown.
It's asking
Because when you combine them, now we have this one is round, capital R, and,
Nobody knows that.
Okay.
yeah.
So
Nice.
Papa, you're literally doing this here. All you can take rest off somewhere.
Ooh,
Big R, small R. And the big one is just.
I think we have forgotten, oop. C. Zach, what would the phenotype be of that one? That one was forgotten.
Be wrinkled and
Okay. And what would that one be? Vienna. Oh, no. Jennifer.
So, one for round is green R.
Wrinkled and green. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, we're missing it from that one. Caden? Yeah, no Caden. Esther?
Yeah,
What would that one be?
it's the green round.
Green round. Okay, next one. Julian, Anders are going to ask you to return to your seats. I'm going to ask, what are the different genotypes we see? So this is not the ratio, just tell me the different ones we see. Marihat.
I got zero help.
Sorry?
You're too smart.
Julian? Lowercase rr, lowercase bb. Do we see any of those in there? Yes, we do. So we have those. And what other ones do we have? Upper R, lower R, upper B, lower B. So we have to go through all the different combinations that are in there. You could do it by all the combinations that could be in there, but sometimes they're eliminated in that particular one doesn't have a combination, so it's easier to just go through which ones are there. Okay, keep going. I think there's at least two more. Okay, and last one. Upper R, lower R, upper B, lower B. Excellent. Now, count how many of each type there are. What is the ratio? Yes.
Or shouldn't that one be both lowercase b?
Which one?
the last one.
Because you have two that are upper r.
Oh, do I have two of the same? Sorry, I may either you saw it twice or I heard it wrong. I'll say I heard it wrong. Okay, go. What's the ratio?
20 or 4 to 4 to 4.
Nope.
Or 1 to 1 to 1.
1 to 1 to 1. So, I mean, 4 to 4 to 4 is what we have, but we just, we simplify. And as a percent, that would be
1 to 1 to 1.
Yes?
25%.
25% each. And I realized after I made this problem, I made it too easy because the genotypes and the phenotypes overlap. There's not going to be too much of a difference. So I will ask, that is not always the case, but I will ask then what each of the phenotype is, and we'll get it that way. Mick? There. Pardon? Yeah, and what is that as a phenotype? What does it look like?
Wrinkled and green.
Wrinkled green.
Second one is round and black. Third one is wrinkled and black.
Is what?
Wrinkled and black.
Wrinkled black.
And the last one is round and green.
All the way up back here. What is each square worth as a fraction, Jojo?
6.25.
How many? That is the percent. So in a percent, it's 6.25%. But as a fraction, how many squares are there? How many across are we?
4.
How many down?
4.
4 times 4?
16.
There you go. So each square is 1 out of 16. It is handy to remember that, because if you're doing a dihybrid cross and it doesn't work out this easy, because we only had 4 different genotypes out of a possible all of those, and you can get much larger amounts. So if you have 2, you should end up with like 12.5%, and so on. And so if you remember the percent, it makes that part a little easier as you multiply it around. Any questions on a dihybrid cross? You can do trihybrid crosses. They just rapidly become difficult. And if you're calculating percents of a particular thing, there's no reason why you can't then go and say, oh, I'll just do a single trait, calculate those percents, do another trait, calculate those percents. But sometimes it's useful to know which traits are going to go together. What percents are we going to have? Our consumers really like round black peas. It's the newest trend. And so calculating the percents that you're going to get out of each particular mating stock is useful. Okay, if no questions, we're going to move on to blood typing.
Are you doing the blood type lab today?
We're not going to do it today. We're going to do it upon your return. I don't know if in the same week or not. That reminds me too. If you have ever fainted at the sight of blood before we do the lab, please tell me. I have had 3 students in total over my career keel over in the middle of class. And in at least one of those cases, they were like, it happened once, it never happened since, so I'm good. I would like to know so that we can make sure that if you need help, we can give you help. And more importantly, if you're standing while you're doing that and you keel over backwards and you hit your hair against a table or on the floor, that's actually the greatest risk of injury. So we want to make sure that you're okay. And given that it's happened to me 3 times and no other teacher in the school ever, I think someone has it out for me, so I just want to make sure. As well, it can happen to you if it's never happened before. So when we do this lab, unlike the other class, we do it sitting down. So that way, if you do fall unconscious, we can wake you up. If someone does faint, please give them space, don't crowd around, let me know, and then stay away. Because if you've never woken up after fainting, it is very disorienting because you don't know why you're there as your brain sort of reboots. And you're like, we'll call the health center and you can go away if you need to. Some people, if they're used to it. I did have one person who were like, no, I faint all the time. And they would just wake up and continue what they were doing. But some people, if it's never happened to you before, it might be a little disconcerting. So I do need to know, you are going to stab yourself and squish out blood and then test it to see if you're type A, B, or Rh positive. The kit comes with these little flat but come to a point pieces of metal that you're supposed to just like stab. What I do is I go to the health center and I get them to give me the little needles that you use if you're diabetic. And it just very quickly, you just go plunge and it puts a needle in very quickly. You can roll the blood up, do a quick little test. And it's a lot easier to do. If you really, really, really don't want to do it, like you're like absolutely don't want to do it, you don't have to. I would then want you to watch someone else, just so you know how it's done and you have some experience with it. However, I would really encourage you to do it. It is useful to go through the process, see what that is. Do not take it as your blood type. This is a high school lab. These are materials from a company that makes things for high school lab. They're not medical grade, they go bad, sometimes they don't work. It generally tends to work, but I wouldn't bet my life on it. Done? Excellent, thank you. Oh, I'll take the worksheet too. Excellent. So, yes, sir.
Have you done this high school lab?
Oh, I've done it every year. And I've had, on one occasion, Mr. Neufeld seems a little freaked out by this. I just want to double check we were recording. I had one bad concussion. The person fell over backwards and they hit their head against a table. Not like even these where they roll a little bit, like a hard lab table. And that does the most damage. So I don't want a concussion. There's no danger to fainting other than hitting your head. Because if you faint, the reason you are fainting is for whatever reason, your blood pressure in your head has dropped. As soon as you faint, you become horizontal, and then the blood whooshes back and forth, and then you'll be fine again. They think it's a leftover of your fight and flight response. It is literally a response because if you faint, sometimes that actually removes you from danger, and you're not freaking out. So sometimes people just have that as an automatic response. Yep.
Did you get the same blood type every time you did the high school? Like the high school experiment?
Oh no, because that's the other thing. If you know your blood type or your parents know it, ask them what it is. It's often useful to check. If you know you're A positive, for example, which is the most common blood type, then you should get you should get a -1 on the B, and you should get a positive on the A, and you'll be able to see what that looks like, and really, hopefully it's a confirmation. Anybody who doesn't know it can then look at yours like, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. Mine doesn't look like that. I must be this, right? So it's helpful to know what it is. Just don't take it as the gospel truth. I did have a girl who was going on an international flight. She had to know her blood type. She had to have it drawn to figure it out, and she had to have a bunch of shots. And she wanted to use this because she had a deathly fear of needles, but she forced herself to go through the lab, which was great. But then afterwards she was like, and now I can use this for my international flight. I'm like, we are signing no official documents that you were that blood type. You still have to go up. And then she conned me into helping her with it because she had a deathly fear of needles. So my job was to hold her down while the nurse came out and took her blood. And like a fear, not like a true phobia. Well, as soon as the nurse came in, she was screamed and said, no, please God, let me out of here. So I let her go. And then she said, no, you're supposed to keep hanging on to me when that happens. And I was only a second-year teacher and kind of stupid, so I agreed, and I did that, and she got a blood test. But in retrospect, I should have had somebody else there, because that wasn't the brightest thing to do in the world.
How did you keep her down? Like,
I'm 6'5". You're not going anywhere if I don't want you.
I don't know about that one.
I took down Gleb.
that's
You
true.
did.
That's
You
true.
did.
Yeah.
That's tough. I
So
don't know if you can take me down though.
I would never be able to take down either of the Julians.
He knows. At least you know.
There are 3 blood types, and I'm going to mention the 4th, but I'm not going to do it simply because it just makes the problems a little easier for our Punnett square. So it's just to make it easier. There is a 4th type. What is the 4th type?
AP.
Nope, we have A, we have B, and there's a 4th one. What is it? Nope.
O.
AB. Oh, AB is not a type. It's an example of codominance. So A and B are codominant. So someone has said O. I've got O written there.
C.
Pardon?
C.
Very close.
D.
RH positive. So you often hear that I am A positive or I am B negative. There's another factor they found out after they did the AB system. They called it the RH factor, named after the rhesus monkey, because that's where they discovered it in. Instead of calling it C or something sensible, they just said you're positive or negative for it. So it's an RH factor, and so A positive means you are ARH. We're not going to consider the RH in our genetics, but I'll talk about it, and you'll certainly test for it.
Isn't O negative blood universal?
I will go through why.
That's what my
Yeah,
dad told
yeah.
me.
Wow.
Okay.
Knows everything.
A and B are co-dominant. So you get one from your mom and one from your dad, and if you get an A from your mom and a B from your dad, then you are AB. So it's not so much a separate type as it's both types coming together, like our red and white flower. Also, it was pointed out to me in a different class that I picked completely different species of flowers, and this doesn't make sense. And someone who is a horticulturist, and I'm assuming Esther as well, because you're like, yes. So you'll be glad to know by next class I will have this updated with an actual flower that does this, and you'll see all the types and it'll be the same species. So you can see that it's possible, and I'm not just trying to fake it by randomly looking up red flower on Google and getting whatever I can find. Okay. O is simply not having an antigen. So O for both of them is recessive. It is a lack of A or B. And these, if they are in someone else, are known as antigens. Antigens are things antibodies attach to. Now, if you're type A, you don't make antibodies against A because your immune system went through a booting process when you were developing that removed any possibility of that happening. But if you get blood from somebody who's type A and you are not type A, your body never eliminated those, and so you will attack type A.
Is that why you
So, yeah, if your body makes antibodies against foreign antigens, bacteria, virus. So if a type A is given type B blood, the B antigens are attacked, your blood will clot. When your blood is clotting in your heart, what do you call it? Heart attack. If it clots in your brain, stroke. So a blood clot has a different name. So stroke, heart attack, if it's in a muscle, you have a muscle infarction. Infarction is a fancy term for a blood clot. You can get it in your lungs, and it just stops all blood from flowing there. If this happens, you will simultaneously get multiple strokes, heart attacks, convulsions as all your muscles clot, and then you will die. It is not a fun process. Riley.
Can you give someone with A, B, A, or B?
Yes, because their bodies eliminated both A and B, so they can get type A blood, they can get type B blood,
And also O.
and they can also get O, because O just has nothing.
If you give them too much of A,
Nope, doesn't matter. They don't recognize it. So
O can only receive O, right?
O can only receive O. So O is often referred to as the universal donor, because you can also get O from everybody. Now, if you add in the Rh factor, then O negative is the true universal donor. Who can O negative receive from?
O negative.
O negative only. So you can't receive from that many people. Jojo, you can put away your computer because we're doing it here and you can draw. And if you are, which one can receive from everybody?
AB.
AB positive, and then you're absolutely fine. So that is why I accepted Ms. Walensky as an assistant in Privet House, because she's O negative. So if I ever need any blood, she's right there. Draw the different blood types and their antigens.
Where? On the next one.
That's on this page.
Do we just copy the board?
Yeah, basically. So this is blood type A. So this is the phenotype. What are these underneath? Those are the genotypes. So you may inherit an A from, say, mom and an O from dad. That just means you're type A. You will express A because you got it, and it's dominant. And so you can't be type O. But if you're type A, you don't know likely which one you are. Sometimes you can work it out if you look at the blood types of your family history, because there are certain results that can or can't happen depending on which one you have. But unless you go through all that time and effort, you won't know which one you are. If you're type A, you could be either be AA or AL. But if you're AB, you absolutely know you got an A from your one of your parents and a B from another. And if you're type O, you absolutely know you got an O from one of your parents and an O from another. And the reason I have boxes and triangles is to show, because antigens, I've referred to them, are literally things on the outside of cells, viruses, bacteria, in this case red blood cells, that have different shapes. Antibodies just react to shapes. The reason you may get rheumatoid arthritis is because rheumatoid arthritis is when your immune system attacks your joints, and there are some viral protein coats in which they're the same shape as some of the proteins in your tendons, not tendons, in your joints, and your body learns to attack them because they're close enough, and then you make so many, it starts attacking your joints. There's a genetic component as well, because you actually have to make those, and they have to, so you have to have the ability to do that. There's a theoretical process by which you could cure it, and that would be to, does anybody know where all your blood is made? Yeah? In your bones, in your marrow, you make all your blood. So if you irradiate all of your marrow and kill everything that could make blood, your immune system's gone, because that's all the white blood cells. However, if you took out a sample, cleaned it of any cells that could make antibodies, and then just put some of the progenitor cells back and enough to start making blood, it would recolonize your bones and your immune system would reboot. They've done that in a couple of cases, trying to figure out how to do it, and it went to some human trials. It turns out to be very difficult to do, but in a couple of cases they actually have eliminated things like rheumatoid arthritis in some people. Blood typing, of course, is important in terms of your giving blood. You can also donate bone marrow. That is a much more intensive process. They can actually test whether or not you're a compatible donor. It's very rare that you would match, very rare. You'll get tested, and most people who get tested never get called once in your life. But if you get called, that means somebody needs it, and they're going to die unless they get it from you, and you're probably the only match in the world. Because matching your immune system is a lot more difficult than matching blood. And so if you can do that, you are absolutely saving someone's life. So if you have an opportunity to do that, if you ever give blood, you can sign up for also doing that, and they'll just call you if it turns out somebody needs it. It is an intensive procedure, though. If they do need it, it is surgery. They open up your leg and they take a sample out. Yes?
So, is O negative universal because it has no shape?
Yeah, no shapes at all. Not the RH, not the A, not the B.
So the immune systems can't really detect it?
Yeah, it's just a blank. Type O is like baldness is a hair color. You see someone who's bald, it's like, what color's their hair? And you're like, you don't know. But like, it is a type of hairstyle. So like, it exists, but it doesn't have any color. So it's very similar. It's been shaved clean. There is also no health effects from having particular blood types. It's not like one gives you a better immune system. There is a lot of pseudoscience and myths about like if you have this type of blood, it's better or worse. The only time it's better or worse is in a modern society in which we have transfusions. If you have type, which type is the universal acceptor? AB is it. So if you have that, it's just easier for you to get blood after an accident because they can pretty much give you anything. Okay. Questions? Good? What I would like you to do right now. The father is type AB, the mother is type A, the child is type O. Are there any conclusions to be drawn? Conclusions, predictions, explanations. So, pardon?
You have to act super professional.
I'm just going to let you do some work. I'm going to come around and see you. That's super professional.
Suit up, Mr. Rico.
Suit up.
You don't know what suiting up is?
Wait, no, it's impossible. Because fathering.
He's
He's not the father.
He's not the father.
You
You
are
are
not
not
father.
the father.
Told you, bro. Not that he wrong.
Okay, yeah, so if he's AA,
Lemon Rock.
But he's not. Father. Because he chose.
You are not your father. I'm a math. Told you, bro. Lemon Rock. Father's type AB. Mom is A. Papa is O. Ready? Conclusions are drawn. Yeah, Papa. Papa is no Papa.
Okay, what do we got?
Papa is Papa.
Oh!
You got one of the possibilities. How many different blood types do we have up there?
Oh,
For the parents?
Papa is
Probably
not
A,
Papa.
right?
Two.
Nope. Three. What's the other one?
Oliver.
No, it's recessive.
Jojo? You said three. So there's AB. What's that one?
He is not father though. Papa is
AO
not Papa.
or
A.
AA. So the reason I gave you two Punnett squares is, do you know which one of those genotypes mom is?
Yeah.
No. You don't know. If mom is type A, that's the phenotype for
Kid is
both.
guaranteed O.
Julian,
So one of us
A
is
and B are codominant, and O is recessive to A and
O. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not his kid then.
Yeah.
Pardon?
It's not his kid. He is not the father.
Or
Or
False blood test.
could be, but we'll say the blood tests are
it's a mutation. Incest.
unlikely.
You are not. The mom is the brother.
Even more unlikely.
Incest. Inbreeding.
Adoption.
Inbreeding.
Mix it with the hospital. Inbreeding, no, because that still works by genetics.
CRISPR.
And please put up your hands if you have a suggestion.
Sorry.
Don't yell random ones that couldn't possibly be
I don't
true.
think there's that many conclusions.
Julian, you're still yelling.
Could it be if the mom was AO? Could there be a way for A to be canceled?
No. So there's only one type for father. So if I was to do this, we've got father. I will do all of these with father on top, mom on the bottom, because that's just tradition. And so if you set them up the same, it'll be easier to check your work. So dad has to be AB. If, whoops, dad all of a sudden changed blood types. And then we have two cases for mom. One in which mom is homozygous. And one in which mom is heterozygous. And because A is a dominant trait, we don't know which one it is because it completely masks the other. So,
Wow.
what is the phenotypic ratio for those children? I will ask someone at random. I won't fill it in until after we get the ratio. See who has it. So let's see. Again, Anders. For this one, what's the phenotypic ratio?
Pretty sure. 3-1.
Of what? What are the blood types that would come out of this? You have the square done there. What are the blood types you have?
AA.
Oh, nope. AA is what blood type?
A.
It's just A. So phenotypic ratio, we're A. What's the other blood type?
B. AB.
AB. Is there any other blood type from this one? No. So what's the ratio in percent between those? What percent are it? A? 50-50.
That
So let's double check. We got AA. We got AA. We got AB. We got AB. Yep. So for this one, 50%. 50%. So can you get a type O child out of that? No, not even close. Let's check the other one. Now, eye color, can you get a brown-eyed child from two blue-eyed people? Yes, because it's way more complicated than simple Mendelian genetics. So that does occur. But blood typing is fairly strictly Mendelian genetics. So there's not quite as much complexity that can go on here. Next one, Liam. What percentages do you get, and what are the phenotypes?
Percentages. Okay, so you have A, then you have AO, so that's still A, right?
Yep.
Then you have AB, and then heterozygous B.
So you just say B,
B, okay.
because that's the only phenotype is just what you see. Percent of A
50,
and AB
25,
25 and B
25.
25. Double check. Yep, that's type A. That's type A. That's type AB. Wait a minute. Oh, yep. And then we have our type B. Does that give us a type O for the child? No. Now, mix up at the hospital. Can you, from this data, prove that the mom's not the mom?
Yeah.
On the first one,
I think
she
mom's
wouldn't
the
be.
mom.
Pardon?
On the first one,
That's a little bit
then
Well, if mom was this,
then she wouldn't.
it would be impossible because mom would have to have a type O as well.
Yeah, but then
But
you could get it from.
Do we know that mom is AA?
No.
No. So there is a chance that that is true. So we can't definitively say mix up at the hospital. If it was impossible for mom to be the mom, then that would actually be that would be the most reasonable explanation because you can't immediately jump to cheating because even mom couldn't be the mom. However, we don't know that in this particular case. It could be. It could be that the father's not the father. I did know a family in Courtney in which they couldn't have children for years. And then the mom was pregnant, and then the child looked nothing like either of them.
What?
The genes seemed very different. But the dad was extremely happy they just had a child. So I suspect, and everybody gossiped, that that was just something that they had arranged so that they could actually have children. And so, yeah, the dad might be different. It's not necessarily cheating, but it could be different. Yes?
Okay, for the second one,
Yeah?
that means the dad is not the dad. Because the mom could be because it has an O.
Mom could be, dad can't be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because dad has AB, dad does not have an O. If child is type
Not the
O,
father.
not the father. So, not the father, maybe not the mother. Don't know for sure. Do the same thing with this one. Child is born with type A, the mother's blood type is type AB, the father's blood type is type B. Are these the likely biological parents?
Perhaps.
That should be false.
Mm-hmm.
So is A, B, AB, and O the only blood types?
There is the RH positive and negative. We're just not going to do it.
Okay, that could.
Is it possible to make new blood types? CRISPR?
There has been other blood types in the past. Humanity went through a near extinction event some 100,000 years ago, 120,000 years ago, and we became very inbred and we lost a lot of our genetic diversity. And one of the areas that really shows up in blood types, most mammals have hundreds of blood types. We don't. There are some other extremely rare blood types, and there are some places in Africa where they're a little bit more common because, of course, Africa is the birthplace of humanity. And so a lot of it is also the most genetically diverse place on Earth because groups that went out from Africa and traveled and migrated to different areas were often smaller groups, and so they lost some genetic diversity by leaving the groups behind. So yeah, it is a fairly, it is possible to have some extremely rare blood types that are neither A nor B nor RH. Which one has two different possible types of blood types? Riley.
Sorry.
Which parent has two possible types of blood
the dad.
genotypes?
The dad.
The dad. And what are the two types for dad?
BB
B,
and BO.
and BO. And what blood type has a really strong smell associated to it, and the people who often stink? BO.
He's pretty practiced.
Okay, once again, I'm going to ask for the. I'm not going to fill it in because we'll do that as confirmation. Anybody not finished? Okay, I'll just wait another
Is that the-
minute or so. I'm going to ask for the phenotypic ratios below. So what blood types are there, and then what are the percents of each? For the two possibilities.
Julia, which one would this be? B what? BA or BB? Why? Which one is the second one? They said this one. Yeah, this one. What's the second letter? Had a B and a B. This one and this one. It's also a BB. Did you know that? I did know that. Thank you for telling me. I really appreciate it. You're lucky.
Okay, I'll look at the first one.
The genotype is, or no, sorry, the
Phenotype.
It is 50% B
B.
and then 50% AB.
And 50% AB. Excellent. Let's take a look. AB, AB, BB, AB. Yep, 50% of each. And then for the other one, Hillary.
B 50%, AB 25%, A 25.
That seems, oh, my 5 there is starting to look like a 6. I'll just correct that. Okay, so we have AB here. We have a type A. We have a type B. And we have a B. So yeah, that makes sense. Because that's our type B. There's our type AB. And there's our type A. So good. If the child was born with type A, does that make sense? Yeah, it's not out of the bounds. There's a 25% chance if dad is that, and we don't know which. So we would say, sure, that's definitely a possibility. In fact, you could use that result to say, because the child was born with type A, we now know that the dad must be heterozygous for the type B blood. He has a B, he smells because he has BO.
Like that one, dude.
And so this is how you can work out what alleles you might actually have. Are you homozygous for type B? Are you heterozygous for type B? Because if you know both of your parents, then even if you can go back to grandparents, you can start working out what are the odds of if a type O brother or sister or someone popped up and neither of your parents are type O, or if only one parent is type O, then you know the other parent must also have had the type O gene. You can start working out what your blood type might be. So you can work out your genotype from that as well. Okay. Questions, concerns? Now on Maury. Which of these 4 guys is the father? We've got Dave, type A, John, type B, Tom is type AB, and Rex is type O. Betty Ann Ray.
Did you come up with that name?
I did. Betty Ann Ray. Well, my mom's name is Betty Ann, so I figured if I was going to make fun of a name, make fun of my mom's name. Betty Ann Ray, the mother, is type B homozygous. We know that from family records, and they can be no other type. The child is type AB. Prove, with Punnett squares, who could be the father, who cannot be the father, and who is most likely to be the father if there is more than one. To set it up, we have Dave. How many Punnett squares are we going to need for Dave? 2, because he's only type A. So we got Dave 1 and Dave 2. How many are we going to need for John? 2. So we got John 1 and And John 2. How many for Tom? 1. And how many for Rex? 1. And I gave you a bunch of Punnett squares probably because I didn't count how many you needed and just gave you a ton, so you can ignore those or use them for something else. I will call people to the board to fill those out in a moment. So work out the different ones.
No, the mom is baby.
Yeah.
I was just trying.
Yeah. No, not, you gotta one of these, not one of those. Those are for wiping like yourself, so you shouldn't wipe yourself. But those absolutely. Yeah, you do a little bit. You get those in changing leather text? When weather changes, particularly if it starts to snow, often the humidity airdrops because the water's going out. And then when the humidity drops, your nasal passages can get a little drier and then leak. That's the most common cause of bleeding nose. My cousin, every time the weather changes, they just get a ton of bleeding
I'm
nose.
joking, bro.
Yeah, Dave's still.
Hold it. Where's the other pen? There we go.
And the day before.
Have you done all the Punnett squares?
Oh, I didn't do all of them. I know that answer.
If we could have up to do, I'm going to call it 6 people to come up. You can pick which Punnett square you want to do. I will say, let's keep, just to make it easier, Mom here and Dad there. So you put Dads across. Take a look. If you're doing one of the 2, if someone's already done one, you have to do the other one. So first up, Darren. And next up, Julian GG, as soon as he comes back. So while we're waiting for him to come back, Pablo, one of the squares. You are called to serve.
Isn't that just
Snow day right now.
Wait, my dog's so
All the clouds are just like.
Pardon?
Which one's yours?
Oh, that's female.
Yo,
That's
as
me.
we went back up, you got more.
So put Mom on the lower left and Dad on the right.
Snow could evaporate. So like we go like opposite. We go like up and down, up and down.
Julian 10, you'll be next. For the next one.
Look, Dave.
And
Dave is way more likely.
Esther, you're on one of them after. You can grab the pen,
You have to
Julian.
let them these go.
Hold it.
Do we do the
you can
ratios?
pause there for a moment, Pablo. We'll just go like that
We
so
can do
everybody can write.
ratios? Who's John? Which one's John? I don't remember.
Grab your sheet. It's literally on the sheet, and you said you did them all.
I did, but I don't remember the names of people. John's B. It's impossible.
Wait, who's that?
That is John 1.
Oh, okay.
So he has picked BO, so you have to do the other type of B.
Oh no, he's BB.
Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna use our razor real quick. Give me a second.
Boy, it's Spanish ravioli.
Perfect. Julian GG, you're up for one of the Punnett squares.
Which one?
You can pick from one of the last 2.
Tom or Rex? I'll pick Tom.
Yep.
What are
And then the last Punnett square, Zach.
Wait, what are the
Okay.
letters? What are the letters?
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Tom.
Tom is AB, and the mom. Just do BB here first, and the top is AB.
There you go. Alphabetical order.
Okay.
Into red. Yeah, okay.
Not good at it. I was not called to serve.
Is that right?
Yes, it looks good. Nicely done.
If it's from like, if it's from, if it's AA, if he's a bottom, if he's AO, 50% chance he gets a trial.
Maybe.
Two possibilities. It's
Okay.
either Dave or Tom.
Anders, Julie. Which fathers can be completely eliminated? Yes, Jojo.
Rex and John.
Rex and who? John? Oops, I'm gonna use the color. So Rex can't be it. And where's John? There's John. That one can't. And that one can't. So we have left is Dave and Tom. Now, it could be either of them. Which one would be more likely? Dave. Dave, because we don't know what Dave is. Dave has 75% chance of getting an AB child because there is 6 out of 8.
But there's still a chance that it's Tom.
But there's still a chance of Tom, so you wouldn't be able to move it.
Tom, you see who the final match? I don't know how it is.
Big assist.
Okay, and where's your worst?
No 5-minute break. You want to
Or 10-minute breaks and 5 minutes.
I've been working hard this class. I deserve 5 minutes.
There's no 5-minute break because it's lots of breaks, so we're waiting for people to do things. Stop working. Okay. We are then, what time is it?
11:30.
Perfect. You have some time then to start a worksheet
Wow. That's it.
to practice. I don't know about very next class. I have to find out when we can do it from Ms. Stewart. Hold it.
Julian,
Yeah.
we need to go to the thing.
Where?
Yo, we should run bets on like what standards of blood types are.
I'll do it with you.
But
I don't know, dude. It's all random unless you do your parents' website.
Yeah, it's all negative.
Is your mom O?
If your mama has a no, you can be
No, but there's a 25% chance your mom's O. There's a 20, even if your mom has one O,
I have,
25%
okay,
chance.
hard to bring up here.
I think I left the worksheet in the photocopy room and grab it. So, given that we have